Hey everybody, Jake and Tyler from Let's Go Fanatics. We wanted to make sure that we got as much enjoyment out of the 2024 season as we could. Just because the end result isn't what we wanted didn't mean that the rest of the 2024 season was useless or worthless or it wasn't fun. So we wanted to go through some of the most fun moments and fun takeaways that we've had from the 2024 season. And we're going to start with some honorable mentions. And my honorable mention is Trevor McGill. He pitched a career high innings in 2024. He had a 2.72 ERA, a 1.55 ERA plus, 50 strikeouts, only 14 walks, which is two more than he had last year, despite facing 35 more batters. He was 21 out of 24 in save attempts in relief of Devin Williams, who missed the first half of the season with his injury. And in the playoffs, Trevor McGill pitched twice. He retired 7 of the 8 batters that he faced. He had 1 hit by pitch, and he had 4 strikeouts for those 7 outs that he recorded.
Yeah, so for my honorable mention, I went with the Brewers spending 150 total days in first place, a team that was picked to finish last by many, fourth place by pretty much everybody, and not picked by anybody to finish in first place. For them to spend 150 total days in first place, win the division, running away with it, 14, 15 games over 500. I mean, it's amazing stuff.
Yeah, so my number 3, I went with a little bit more of a recent one, and it's the 8-0 comeback against the Diamondbacks. The Brewers, Arizona jumped out to an 8-0 lead early in the game against the Brewers after 2.5 innings. And then, a 7-run top of the third for the Diamondbacks. During that inning, the Diamondbacks win probability reached 97%. And it remained above 87% until Rhys Hoskins' double in the bottom of the 7th to cut the lead to 8-5. So a 2-out single in the top of the 8th made it 9-6 for the Diamondbacks. And then what I'll say is arguably the best rally of the entire season happened, all with 2 outs, which the Brewers being a great 2-out team could have been a really good honorable mention as well. All with 2 outs, a Jackson Chourio walk, a Blake Perkins single, a Garrett Mitchell single to make it 9-7, a Rhys Hoskins single that made it 9-9, a Willie Adames double, and a Jake Bauers pinch hit single that made the game 10-9 with the Brewers leading. The Diamondbacks ended up missing the playoffs by having the same record as the Mets and Braves and didn't hold a tiebreaker over them. So that essentially kept the Diamondbacks out of the playoffs. Kind of a little bit of revenge for the Diamondbacks eliminating the Brewers last year. The Brewers kind of got to early eliminate the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, I like that one. So for my number 3, I went with Willie Adames' game-winning home run versus Kansas City, which happened really early in the season. But the backstory behind it makes it a little bit better. Adames was actually, in the batter's box, not in the batter's box. I'm sorry, he was on deck, and he was he was talking to a couple fans as they were making a pitching change. And one of the fans was just talking a little bit of game with him, and he goes, "You sure you want me up there? I might hit one over the fence." And lo and behold, we didn't know what a magical season Willie had in front of him at that moment, but he went up there and he created a memory for all of us. He goes up there, a lifelong memory for that fan who was talking to Adames before that at bat, but absolutely magical moment for the Brewers and Adames and that fan.
I love that they high-fived after the game. The Royals fan wasn't even mad. It was just like, dude, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I love the respect.
Lifelong memory, dude. It was sick.
That's super cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my number 2, I have the Brewers' offensive improvement under Pat Murphy. So looking at it, under Craig Counsell, during his entire tenure, the Brewers averaged a 244 average, 319 on base, 408 slug for a 727 OPS. Under Murphy, 248, 326, 403, and 729. So the offense is already better. You look at weighted runs created plus 100 is the average on that. Under Counsell, it was 95. Under Murphy this year, it was 104. Also, Craig Counsell had Ryan Braun and 2 MVP seasons by Christian Yelich.
Very true.
Murphy had about a third of a season of MVP level Yelich and more players who will be named shortly. But if you look at the average numbers under Craig Counsell, what the Brewers averaged offensively, it's 195.4 home runs, 713 total runs, and 114 stolen bases. In 2024, the Brewers hit 177 home runs. That's 18 below what the average was under Craig Counsell. Mm-hmm. However, they scored 777 runs, which is 64 higher than their average under Craig Counsell. And they they stole 217 bases, which is 103 above the single season average of what they were under Craig Counsell. So a massive, massive offensive improvement. If you look at things like run differential, the Brewers under Craig Counsell. Now I took 2020 out because that was a weird year, so I took that out. So from 2014 to 2019 and then 2021 to 2023, the Brewers run differential was 215 total for 9 years. And that includes 75 in 2023, which was number 12, 37 in 2022, which was number 13, 109, which is pretty good in 2021. That was number 8. 2 in 2019, literally 2. They were literally 2 runs above in 2019. That was number 15. And in 2018, the year that they were 1 game away from the World Series, they had 107, and that was number 8. In 2024, it was 136.
Yeah.
And they were number 3. There was a massive offensive improvement. And even going further than that, the Brewers' highest win streak in 2024 was 6. Nothing crazy, but they never lost more than 3 games in a row.
Yep.
So that type of consistency really gives me hope for the future of what this team is going to be.
Yeah, it's a really good point. The future is going to be really bright. And something that I hope stays for a long time. We have a pending free agent. We'll talk about that later. But my number 2 on the list is home run robberies. The pending free agent is Blake Perkins, a guy they got on a very cheap deal. Found him just basically laying there looking for life, as the Brewers do with a lot of players, and they brought him to life. Switch hitting guy, one of the best defensive center fielders you're going to find. Sal Frelick has robbed some. Jackson Churio has robbed some. I mean, Garrett Mitchell has robbed the home runner too. So, I mean, we just have 4 guys in the outfield that are just robbing home runs. It's going to be a really weird year. My mind is kind of shifting to what's going to be next in 2025. It's going to be crazy. I can see a lot of flexibility with the lineup, in my opinion, as long as I keep robbing home runs, which, in my opinion, is the most exciting play in baseball. I mean, you think about a guy, you go from an oh shit to a holy shit moment, and literally in the span of seconds. That is why, for me personally, it's the most exciting play, and the Brewers are very good at it. Blake Perkins actually tied a Major League Baseball record with 4 home run robberies this year. So good job by him.
If it's done the way that Keon Broxton used to do it, it's easily the most exciting play in baseball.
Dude, because he was just flailing everywhere.
Dude, he was so active. Dude, every time he robbed one, it was like he just won the World Series. Like,
yeah.
Dude, it was every time he robbed a home run, it was like he just dunked on somebody. All right, my number 1 favorite takeaway from the 2024 Milwaukee Brewers season is Jackson Churio. Like the other levels that he played at, he struggled at first, and then he figured it out. Looking at him from June 1st on, he had a 303 batting average, a 358 on base percentage, a 525 slug for an 883 OPS. That's amazing, especially for a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
His weighted runs created was plus was 142. And now, listen to this here. So this is from June 1st on. This is 97 games total out of 148 that he played. So from June 1st on, this is 65.5% of his games played.
Mm-hmm.
In that time, he hit 16 of his 21 home runs. That's 76.2% of his total. He had 15 of his 22 stolen bases. That's 68.2% of his total. And 25 of his 29 doubles came after June 1st. That's 86.2% of his doubles came after June 1st in 65% of his season.
Wow. That guy, he has 40-40 written all over him, dude. I'm being so serious when I say that. He has 40-40 with being called the best player in baseball written all over him, dude.
And I'm not done, because he was also 5 for 11 in the playoffs with 2 home runs, 3 runs batted in, 3 runs scored, a walk and a stolen base, and only struck out 1 time.
Yeah, we got a good one, guys, for the next 9 years, 10 years, including this past season. But for the next 9 years, we have a really good one. We're going to get to watch him blossom in front of our eyes. Hopefully we can get another deal done, when we get down to 3-4 years, and just keep him in Milwaukee forever. He could be the new age Robin Yount, since Tyler and I didn't get to enjoy Robin Yount. Hopefully we get to enjoy Jackson Churio's career in Milwaukee with a title, at least one. It'd be so nice to see him get one and kind of solidify himself as one of the best players in baseball history, because he has that kind of potential. I'm not speaking hyperbole right now. I actually really mean that. He's amazing. And talking about things that were amazing this year, my number one was the Grand Slams. Now, obviously, we went on that week and a half, 2-week binge where we were just hitting one every other game, and it was like, what is happening right now? This should be illegal. The Brewers ended up with 10 total Grand Slams, 3 of them by Rhys Hoskins. So don't say that the Brewers don't go get free agents, because Rhys Hoskins was a big deal, and he was a big deal with the power. And that was an area where the Brewers struggled, but they actually were pretty good in the playoffs with power. But Rhys Hoskins was a big deal with power, big deal with mindset in the locker room, with all the young guys that we had. He was a good veteran to put into that locker room. But the Grand Slams, now you want to talk about, I said that home run robbery is the most exciting play. Grand Slams got to be in the top 3, right?
Yep.
If it's not number 2, it's number 3. Inside the Park might be number 2. That's my only one that might be, because it never happens, right? So, we're talking about inside parks. You know who else had an inside park home run this year? Oh, Jackson Churio. That's right. That guy does everything.
Yeah, he does.
Hits opposite field home runs in San Francisco. Hits inside the park home runs. I mean, he hits 2 home runs in playoff games, 1 to lead off the game, 1 to tie it. I mean, the guy, there's nothing he can't do on a baseball field.